life is so short. Like, I live by this. Like, life is so short and everything happens for a reason. So if you were given this, like, opportunity, take it.
Are we live? This is it?
We're live!
Episode 4!
Oh
Yo,
my God.
brother, how you doing?
I'm doing good, my man. How are you?
Great, brother, great. It is another beautiful day here, man. I am 4 episodes in, dude.
That's crazy. Who would have
This
thought?
is insane.
Who would have
Look
thought?
at us.
Look at us. Not me.
Awesome, bro.
Oh
Well,
my God.
episode 4. Let's just jump straight into it, brother. Number 1 question.
Are you going to ask me this time? Fine, you can ask me this time.
It'd be my pleasure, sir. What did you have for breakfast?
Hey, I tell you what. For the first time today, I actually didn't have breakfast. I forgot.
What?
Yeah, my first meal was at, I don't know, noon. And I had some chimichangas from not Chick-fil-A. From
Chick-fil-A chimichangas, bro.
I wish. What do you call that? I had it from Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, what? They have... Bro, Cheesecake Factory, they just be dropping some weird, like, things on the menu. I didn't know they had chimichangas.
Well, yesterday, FYI, yesterday was my 25th birthday. But
Happy birthday!
Thank you, belated. But one of my coworkers decided to send me a lunch yesterday. And then I happened to just had lunch, so I was going to like, I just eat it tomorrow. So that's what I did.
Awesome, bro. Heck yeah. How was it?
Chimichangas. It was great. Yeah, it was really good. There's some guacamole, some salsa and stuff. No bread and Nutella this time. A little different.
That's good, bro. No banana Nutella bread and peanut butter.
Yep. Now, Shawn, what did you have for breakfast?
Actually, for breakfast, I think I was on the phone with you, and I had... This is weird. So if you're actually into, like, fitness, I recommend this breakfast if you're trying to keep it low-key. I had 6 eggs, 6 egg whites.
6 eggs? 6 egg whites. Okay.
2 whole eggs, and then 1.5 ounces of chicken.
Bro, what?
Yeah, and a protein shake. So I was,
Muscle man.
Bro, honestly, it's just, I don't know, for breakfast, I don't know, it just makes it feel good when I don't have to have anything heavy. So it was so good, man.
That's
I added
good.
some of the hot sauce on there, you know.
What kind of, like Cholula or Tabasco or what?
Bro, that Tapatio, bro.
Tapatio.
Tapatio. Oh,
That's
man.
good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you had a good breakfast, Shawn, and I'm glad I didn't have a breakfast. I don't know why I'm glad I didn't have a breakfast. But
I'm so happy I didn't eat.
Okay, so jumping into today's topic, we have one of our good old friends from the old gang. Yeah. So she is actually just growing on Instagram these days. We've been very impressed with whatever she's been posting, and her content has been very consistent, and it's fashion. You know, she's all about the fashion gang.
Yeah, no, honestly, like, it's been one of those things that, like, seeing her grow and just, like, it's honestly just kind of seeing her grow from, like, kind of how we knew her when we all younger and whatnot. I'm so excited to, like, have her on here, bro. Like, she's so smart and she's so about the fashion thing, dude, that I need these tips, bro. I struggle with fashion, man.
I know, me too. And then also on top of that, she actually goes to FITM now, which is probably like one of the coolest college ever if you want to study for fashion. I was kind of comparing this to like Juilliard, because Juilliard is like a performing arts and FITM is like the fashion version of it. I might be wrong, but I know FITM has like its name up there, so that's fantastic.
FITM's one of them big dogs up there.
Exactly.
I hear that, yeah.
Exactly. So we're excited to have her. She's excited to be here, and we just called her up saying like, "Hey, want to chit chat about what you're doing?" So and she's like, "Yeah, I'm down." So great.
Yeah, honestly, like, we just hit her up, saw her growing, and she was happy to do it. So you guys are definitely gonna love it. I think this is gonna be something that's gonna be really fun.
Well, without further ado, let's just hop into it. We're gonna bring Danielle in just a minute. So here we go.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, we are back.
We want to welcome Daniella Maola. Hey.
Hi guys, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Of course.
Yeah, thanks for being with us. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day to spend some time with us.
Yeah.
So how you been? How you surviving this Corona era?
gosh. I'm ready for it to end, just like the next person. But I think I'm going crazy. I honestly don't know what day it is. Like, I'm going nuts.
Everything's just kind of a blur at this point.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Honestly.
Pretty much. So, first question for you. This is kind of like a little brown rice tradition for not only us, but also featured guest stars. And you are the first guest star, really. So, woo!
Oh,
Thanks for being here.
yeah. Thank you. I'm honored.
So, we want to ask you, what did you have for breakfast?
What did I have for breakfast?
Ba-dum-bum.
I didn't have breakfast, actually.
Oh!
That's the second one for
Really?
today.
I didn't have breakfast, too. I didn't have breakfast,
Oh, really?
too. Yeah.
Twins. Yeah.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. I like never have breakfast.
Oh, really? There you go. That's like
What?
one way to do
Oh,
intermittent fasting, Sean. You just don't.
Yeah,
have breakfast at all.
exactly.
It's 2 meals a day.
Sure, there you go.
So, Sean, do you want to dive in the first question? How do you want to do this?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get it started. So Daniella, if you want to just go ahead and introduce yourself, like, yeah, who are you?
I'm Daniella. I'm 22 years old. I'm a student. I have an internship right now for a swim company called Hermosa, and I'm loving it. I go to FITM full time. Yeah, it's awesome. I'm Italian.
Oi!
They're the most important things about me.
This is so. I need to ask: is the whole hand thing? Is that a legitimate thing that the Italians do?
Yes, you can't see me, but I'm literally using my hands. Like they're down here. I'm not kidding. It's like, I don't know. It's like one time. Okay, I have to tell a funny story. Sorry if you have to edit this out.
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, cool. He was laying on the couch and like watching TV, but he was thinking. He didn't say anything, and all of a sudden he starts moving his hands. Like he's like talking to someone, and I was like, Dad, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm thinking. And I was like, no way. Like, I'm not joking. I know. Isn't that crazy?
He gestures his thought process. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
He's gathering his thoughts, bro.
Isn't that funny? Goals.
Dilo, I don't know if you know this comedian, but he's been my favorite for a long time. Sebastian Maniscalco.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
I
We went to go see him live.
Him.
Yeah, he's funny.
You what?
We went to see him live one time. My family
Oh!
and I.
What?
Yeah.
Now I'm
No,
jealous.
Steven, you should go. He's hilarious.
Oh my god.
Big jealous.
Well, when Corona's over, that's on my list.
Right? We have like a 100 thing list of what to do post Corona.
Yeah.
You're no kidding.
Honestly.
I thought it was just me.
So okay,
What-
we're gonna dive into a little background about Dilo, I guess. Well, first, how do we know Dilo? How do we get to know each other? I know that we worked together before for I don't know what 2-3 years, more than that.
I think it was more than that. I've known you guys now for like 5 years, I'd say.
Wow,
Because you were both there when
Happy
I got there. It's been 5
friendversary.
years. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
5 years? That's crazy. That it didn't feel like it though.
Yeah, my first
When did
shift
you-
was May 8th of 2015.
Fun fact: that's a week right after Avengers: Age of Ultron came in.
Oh
I don't know why
my
I said-
gosh. That's funny.
The things, bro.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So we all worked at Chick-fil-A, and Danielle, you still work there. Mm-hmm. Obviously, with this Corona stuff, I went to Chick-fil-A yesterday to get food, and they've been pretty awesome with how they handling their system. But how are you in the other side of the counter, adapting to the new process?
I'm loving it. I'm getting Starbucks gift cards left and right because we're breaking all these records. Yeah, it's awesome. There's a lot more people. I don't know, like it's fun. Like I have a good time. Like going to work actually, like this is gonna sound so weird. It's like my new like social, like how I socialize. It's going to
Gotcha.
work. So I love it.
Is it less stressful? Is it less stressful because they closed down the dining room? Is it less stressful that way?
Kinda, but then there's other places that were like lacking stress because the dining room that now have more stress on them. Like windows really hard now and stuff like that, and like doing the drinks and stuff like that. Like everything's like 10 times more complicated because it's like you have to sanitize everything after you use it, like change your gloves all the time, like stuff like that. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Wow.
Oh, wow, yeah.
yeah.
That's full
That's good
on.
to know, though, that Chick-fil-A's taking that extra step to make sure, they're making sure everything's
They
nice and
really
safe
are.
and sanitary. It's
Yeah,
nice.
they really are.
Safety
Shout out
first.
Chick-fil-A.
Hey,
Shout out to Chick-fil-A.
now I'm hungry.
Right. So, Daniella, tell us about some of your interests. What is currently, like, some of those things that you're like, this is my...
My thing. I love
Yeah.
Your
fashion.
thing.
I love
Okay.
fashion. Like I like online shopping 24/7.
Wow.
That takes up like majority of like my free time online shopping, I'd say. Like, even if I don't buy anything, I'm just browsing because I just love clothes. Yeah, I love like creating content on social media. That's what I'm putting all my time into now during quarantine while I have the time. And I can't wear any clothes anywhere else, so I might as well just like post them on the gram, you know?
Perfect.
Right, there you go.
So that's what we want to talk about. We did notice that you've been growing on Instagram. I saw your followers like, oh, what? Dila has a lot of followers now, and then your content has been like tidied up and very consistent and everything.
Thank you.
We were wondering if there's like a correlation between your focus going to school at FITM and also with the Instagram stuff. Is this kind of like part of your goals to move forward? What's the thought process on that?
Yeah, so I've always wanted to be like, my dream job would be like an influencer or like a fashion blogger. I've like dabbled in my own blog, but I feel like that's kind of dying out. And even if it isn't, like I'm not like a big, like I'm not an English major, so I feel like my fashion journalism isn't like on par with like the fashion bloggers that are popular now, so I wouldn't go into that. But yeah, so that's why I started going to FITM actually, because I feel like I had so much to learn, and what better place to do it than a place where you're surrounded by people who have the same interests and stuff like that. Yeah, so my major is fashion marketing, so it's like they kind of go hand in hand.
Oh,
awesome.
So,
dang,
what's the program like at FITM? Is it online right now because of the Corona stuff?
Yes, and I hate online classes. It's so, oh my gosh, it's terrible. But yeah, they make you they suggest you take 15 units a quarter. So we're on the quarter system. I should start with that. And right now we're in the spring. It's called, is it spring or summer? It's spring. Sorry. Excuse me. It's spring. I'm so nervous. It's spring. So this is my third quarter that I'm completing at FITM. The curriculum is mostly group project based, because they want to prepare you for like what the atmosphere is going to be like in a working environment. Like you're going to be collaborating with your coworkers and stuff like that and other people in your department. So that's really helpful. And yeah, I love the instructors. Like they're all so knowledgeable and like amazing. Like they're all so nice. Like I went to the San Diego campus, which is actually closing down, and I want to cry. But that, I guess, is the best campus. Yeah. And it's, oh no, I'm going to miss them so much. Yeah, they're great. They really take time out of their day. And like, they have normal jobs too. Like there was one professor I had, or instructor. She worked at Marshall's. She was like the regional manager of Marshall's. And she was like, yeah, she just like made so much time for us and like made sure that all of our assignments, like we understood it fully, and like helped us with whatever she could. Like she was so sweet, and she had a family. Like they really are there to help. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they really are there to help.
Let's go kind of talking about that FITM. You talked about how they're really hands-on. So in terms of your guys' classes, like how does that look now being online? Because I'm assuming like being a fashion student and going to a fashion school, like for me, I have absolutely no taste in fashion.
Oh my gosh.
I have no fashion sense.
That's not true.
Right? So when I hear fashion school though, I instantly think, okay, are you guys like doing history, like how to design stuff? What does that look like?
Yeah, that's actually a really popular question I get. So we'll take like normal general ed classes. Like I took an English class. I'm taking speech right now online. My major is fashion marketing, like I said, so I'm a little more blessed, I guess. Like I can take all my classes online, like it's doable. But whereas like if I was taking fashion design, like you can't design online. Does that make sense? So that would be more complicated. So I feel
Is
sorry
it more practical? Is it more hands-on? That's why?
Yeah, exactly. You're like sewing, you're sketching and stuff like that. I wish I would have done fashion design, but I'm very thankful that I did not. But yeah, so some of my classes, some of my classes this quarter are like brand management strategies. I have an Excel class that I'm taking, which is like perfect for this kind of whatever we're doing with quarantine right now, because it's literally online. Yeah. And then just like business classes and like marketing classes and stuff like that. So
it's really overall, it's like a business major, but focused in fashion, right? Because the way I'm taking, based on your classes, it's really strategic business and like, Excel, you're learning Excel. Like, so it's really business and fashion, which is kind of cool.
Exactly.
That's very, very awesome.
Yeah. It's very like focused around fashion, which is like exactly what I was looking for. So that's great.
So what kind of, not methods, I guess, what kind of stuff have you been taking from that school that you've been applying to your Instagram? Obviously, it made a difference. Obviously, I can tell that it made a difference. So what kind of thought process that you put when you post your stuff on Instagram? How do you plan your post? Do you time it in a certain time when you post it, or certain hashtags that you use, or variety of clothes? Tell me all about it.
So I would say the biggest influence on my Instagram has been my internship. Like Fitum got my foot in the door, absolutely. But I think it's really been my internship because I work with influencers, so I see firsthand like how the business works. So I was like, and I shouldn't say this, but I see how much they get paid. So I was like, okay, well, I definitely want to be like in on that, like 100%.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's never a bad thing.
No,
That's a
of
good
course
thing.
not. And I'm learning like brand like DNA and stuff like that, which everybody has their own brand, you know what I mean? Like everybody is their own brand. So I just took that and applied that to my Instagram, where like I'm trying to show people like what kind of
Okay.
the way you brand yourself, like what you wear, like that's exactly what I'm doing. What you smell like, stuff like that.
That's so sick.
Awesome. That's so interesting. Like, what the heck?
Oh, and I wanted to talk about
That's
hashtags
awesome.
actually, because I know
Yes,
people
please.
have been asking me
Drop
about
it.
that.
This would
Yes.
help me.
So I have like a whole like comment section, not a whole comment section, but a whole comment on my post after I post it of hashtags. And some people have come to me and been like, oh, like, do you think that's going to get you like 300 likes like in 2 minutes? And I was like, no, it actually doesn't. It gets you the exposure because like when people click through the hashtags, they're going to see your post. And it like, what's it called? Enhances the engagement. So that's why I use hashtags. And I think everybody should use hashtags. Like, I think that's one of the best features on Instagram.
So, question then: does it make it better when you put all the hashtag in the comment section versus the caption? Because you kind of want to make the caption a little bit more,
Appealing.
tidy.
Yeah.
And kind of like a descriptive, kind of like the title of the post. Is that why?
Exactly. That, and like I've seen them on people's captions and I think they're annoying, so I kind of try and hide them in the comment section. But I'm not really hiding them. Like, people see them and I don't mind. Like I said, I think everybody should be using them. But yeah, you're exactly right. Like the tidiness and like...
I'm taking notes right now, learning from the master.
take notes.
Right? Honestly, if you guys listen to this, make sure you guys have some notepad and
Oh
a
my
piece of
gosh.
pen, taking these notes.
The guru right here.
Yeah, right. I'm still learning.
So, kind of going off of like your growth, I would say growth on Instagram, and just like how much more comfortable you've been, like kind of essentially putting yourself out there just with this great content. What do you think has been like a learning point in you doing this? What is something that you really have taken away from this?
Well, recently I signed a contract with a brand that gifted me an item. And I know, they gifted it to me. So I got it for free.
Okay.
In exchange for a post. Yeah. And I loved their stuff, but I wish I would have signed the contract after I got it, because I almost changed my mind. Like, I saw the product and I loved it, but I just like thought maybe this isn't my brand. You know what I mean? So like that was a big learning point for me. Like, I was like, I need to decide like who I'm going to work with and why I'm working with them. Like, am I working with them for the wrong reasons? Am I doing it for exposure? Like, stuff like that. So that's what I've learned so far today, actually.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dang.
So how often do you get reached out?
Well, I'm kind of smaller, like on the smaller side, like really small. Like, I'm just starting out. So not that often. I'd say about like twice a week I get a brand, but it's only been like a month of that. Yeah.
That's solid. Though.
That's
What the
good.
heck?
Twice a week. Wow, that's quite a bit.
But I don't work with all of them because like some of them are like, they'll leave a comment on my picture and then I'll reach out to them because they're like, oh, DM us if you want to work with us, and then I'll Google them and see if they're legit, and then I'll work with them. Does that make sense?
Is it the same way as the system of like ambassadoring? Is that kind of how it works?
Kinda. They're similar, but it's different. An ambassador is like a reoccurring thing, but like an influencer, if you influence for someone, it's just usually just like one post.
Gotcha. Because I did get reached out by a couple of Instagram page for ambassador, but I'm like, so I'm paying for their clothes though. I'm not endorsing their stuff, so I'm paying for them really. And I'm not sure if that's the right way to do it, so I didn't do it.
Right.
That's good. Yeah.
Well, the
You don't wanna
swim
put
company
that
that I
into
work
it, yeah.
for, they are trying to build an ambassador program, but I don't think they're making people pay for that. It depends on what kind of brand it is, like really.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, we've been talking a lot about like your brand and like kind of like, I'm assuming it's kind of like your image in that. How would you describe your brand? Like how would you describe it?
My style is definitely a mix of everything. I change my mind all the time. So it's like some days I feel more girly, some days I feel more like I want to wear oversized things. Like sometimes I'm more like tomboyish. Like it really depends on what I'm feeling during the day. So how would I describe my brand? I'd say adventurous.
Oh, okay. I like that.
I like that.
Well, I do like to try new things too because I love like following trends, but like I like to make them my own. So I'd say unique, and I'd like to think that I'm original, but I do follow trends often. So
Nice.
Awesome.
yeah.
I'm glad you brought up trends. Now, what starts a trend? Like, I think in this whole like coronavirus or the quarantine thing, there's been so many trends.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so what kind of sparks a trend? Like, how does that start, especially in the world of fashion?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd say right now the biggest trend, no matter what world you're in, fashion, technology, whatever, is TikTok.
Oh,
True.
Not put my finger on it, but I swear I feel like every video on TikTok goes viral, and that's where my majority of like where I see fashion posts and stuff like that. So I'd say TikTok. I don't know why. Like I'm not sure.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I don't know why. Like what exactly it is about certain videos that make them go viral. Like I feel like it's almost random, and I feel like you could say the same thing about trends because it's like most of the trends that we see right now are just older styles coming back into fashion, but in a new, like an upgraded way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like a vintage, but a
Yeah,
modern
exactly.
vintage.
Yeah, a modern. I don't even. That's like a play on words, but yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's cool. So yeah, I feel like the way I see TikTok, it's been like the platform of anything. Cause like when Vine died, it's more like okay, a bunch of actors and comedians kind of roll their way, right? Yeah. So TikTok, I feel like it's like Vine, but with more tools that you can do more stuff other than comedy and acting, and the fact that For You page, I feel like that's the tool to get you out there because it's really random. Sometimes I see posts that has no likes, but I got to see it, so which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I love the For You page. Trying to get on there, so blow up my TikToks.
Do you have your favorite Instagram or YouTube influencers when it comes to fashion? And have you ever got in contact with any of them? Came across by whatsoever. A mention on Instagram. Do tell.
This is my favorite thing that has come out of the quarantine is I feel like influencers are always on their phone, and like if you DM them, they will respond. Like, I don't know, it's the quarantine. Like, they probably have nothing else to do. I feel sorry for them, but like, just like the rest of us, we're always on our phones. So, but yeah, my favorite all-time fashion influence is Victoria Beckham. Try to reach out to her. I'll DM her on Instagram like a million times. I don't care to make a fool out of myself. I haven't, but I would. But like, I know she won't respond, so I don't even try. But I'd say my favorite Instagram influencer is Josephine HJ. I think she's Swedish. Yeah, she is amazing. Like her style, like she's beautiful, like her aesthetic. Like I love everything about her. I have a couple, actually. I love following fashion bloggers on Instagram. Like I like to see what they are wearing and how I can translate that into my own personal style and stuff like that. So I follow a lot of fashion bloggers and influencers. But yeah, Josephine HJ is my number one. Yeah.
Have you came across any contact with any of them?
I've DM'd her and like tagged her in my stories and stuff like that. Like I make mood boards and like inspiration boards, and I'll put her pictures in it and stuff. And like I'll do a Q&A, and they'll ask me who's my favorite fashion influencer, and I'll tag her. She hasn't noticed yet, but she has like almost 1 million followers, so I'm not surprised. But there was a couple actually. Yeah. There's been a handful that I've done the same thing with, tagged them in my Q&A or made mood boards and tagged their photos and stuff like that. And they've all, like almost all of them, I'd say 9 out of 10 have responded and either reposted me on their story or just like messaged me back and said, thank you so much for including me. Like they're all really, really sweet. So that's awesome.
That's so nice.
Yeah, they're so nice. Yeah.
In the world.
So you notice a follower growth from those posts, you think?
Somewhat.
That could help also you're like...
Yeah, somewhat. I think most of them, like I think I haven't seen myself on the Explore page, but I think that's where I get most of my followers from, and hashtags. That's another reason I use hashtags.
Dang.
That's it.
Dang, there's a lot more that goes into the hashtag than I thought.
I'm telling you guys.
Just to say.
Yeah.
Right? Just make sure you use the hashtag. It's number 1 tip. Now, we kind of talked about how your sense or how you would describe your brand or your fashion as kind of like adventurous, right? Now, going off of that, let's kind of run a business. I'm going to try to merge this into like a big question.
Okay.
If you could run a fashion company, right? All right. What kind of company would it be? So I'm assuming fashion, but like if there's any like subunits in fashion, you know, on that. And who would you run it with?
I love that question. Okay. I definitely would be 100% open to starting my own fashion line. I also eventually want to go into fragrance. I know that's kind of an oddball, but I would love to have my own perfume line, and I'll probably pursue that after I graduate, to be honest with you. Clothes are a little bit tricky because you don't want to like be too, like, I feel like my style of clothing that I would produce would be similar to what's already out there. Does that make sense? But eventually I'd like to do clothing. I would love to be a fashion designer. But who would I start it with? I'd love to do it by myself, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, maybe in the future if I meet someone through Instagram or through FitM, I'd love to work with them. Like, I'm not opposed to it, but it's a one-man show. Really.
That's awesome.
Dang. I don't know why that didn't occur to me. Fragrance is a thing of fashion. Like,
yeah.
What in the world?
I know, no one thinks of it.
That kind of tells you about what I think of it.
No, oh my gosh.
That's awesome. So, we've been talking a lot about influencers, right? Like how there's a lot of people down there that have millions or a couple 100,000 of followers, and I'm assuming that has a big role. But kind of what sparks the change in fashion? Like when we're talking about trends, you know, it's like, hey, here's a new trend. You know, what kind of is that motor that causes that change?
I honestly don't know. In one of my classes, we learned this, like, what's it called? The curve of a trend. And it's like, I honestly passed that midterm, but I forgot everything as soon as I left the classroom. So
Don't we all?
Yeah, but just like everything, there's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end of a trend. And it's hard. Like, every trend is different, so it's hard to say, like, when the trend is going to peak and when it's going to fall. But I would say, I don't know, like, it's different for everything. So it's hard to, like, really get too into it.
Would you say social media has a good impact on that? Has a good impact on, like, getting a new trend or getting a trend away?
Oh, 100%, yes. And actually, I thought about it. I think the reason that trends die, per se, is because new trends replace them. So it's like once we forget about the chunky Balenciagas, like all of a sudden everybody's wearing a headscarf. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. It's kind of like a snowball in a way.
Dang.
One right after another.
But this is so much that goes into it. I was just thinking it's like, as a guy, just for me, like, hey, surprise, this is what you guys are going to hear about Shawn the Blasian. If it's comfortable and I could work out in it, that's what I wear. Mm-hmm. That's kind of all that goes into my fashion sense. So kind of hearing how there's so much more that goes into it, like I have so much like more respect for that. Like, that's insane.
That's awesome. I can style you anytime, Shawn.
There we go.
Thank you. I need some help.
We need a makeover from D'Lo.
Yes, I would love that. Oh my gosh. I seriously would love that.
I swear, when quarantine's over, we're all going to D'Lo's house.
Yes, we can make a YouTube video.
Perm me up.
Makeovers. That's awesome. I love that.
So
awesome.
Regarding school and internship and Instagram and everything, of course, what are your future goals after school? What are future goals with social media to get to where you want to be? And what kind of strategic stuff that you've been doing? Of course, that's been working. Are you going to implement to get to where you want to be?
So my goal right now is just to get through this coronavirus online classes and graduate. That's what I'm on track to do right now. I'm loving obviously my internship and the classes I'm taking, but I can't wait for school to be over. But after I graduate, I think I'd like to, I don't know, I'm kind of open to it. Like, I don't really have a timeline, but I think I'd like to pursue the influencer and obviously, like, I hope this doesn't sound big-headed, but like become as big as I can in a way, like influence as many people as I can.
Dream it, girl.
Yeah. That's what I want to do. I want to be successful at whatever I do. And then I think ultimately I'd like to use my platform to start my own fragrance line or clothing line, whatever I decide in the future. But I know for sure I'd love to have my own fragrance line. So that's what I'm working towards. And I could start that when I graduate. Like, I'm not on a timeline.
So I've never kind of thought too much into like the fragrance line. I think like for me it's just like, does it smell good? Does it not smell good? Kind of like you obviously have a lot more knowledge on this than I do. But when it comes to the fragrance, what kind of like how does the whole process start?
I was about to ask the
Like, how
same
do you,
thing,
like-
not Shawn.
Yeah, like how do you go? Do you like walk outside like I love the smell of this flower, I'm gonna put it in a bottle, or is it like how does it go?
Do you go to the lab and like mix some stuff?
Exactly, yeah. I'm sure there's a way you could do it. I actually found this website where you can like build your own perfume sample, and they have like scents that you could mix together and like put it in your own, you get to design your own bottle. So I was like, dude, that's cool. I'm doing that. But I forgot to do it actually. So thanks for reminding me.
Right.
You're welcome. That's why we're here.
Now, what would you name that product? What would you name your fragrance line?
Oh gosh. What would I name my fragrance line? I have no idea. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, right? There you go.
It's coming soon, people.
All right. In terms of we talked about like your future plans and goals. I would say currently like you're on the path of being pretty successful, right? You have a solid head on your shoulders. You know, there's I feel like especially in the fashion like industry or like the spectrum, is that a word I can use? Spectrum. There's definitely a lot of people that kind of use that towards kind of like just their own personal gain without seeing the positive outcomes of it. What is a piece of advice you could give to people currently that are like, hey, like I'm trying to understand the whole fashion thing. What is like a solid piece of advice that you could do to kind of get that boost of confidence? To keep
I
going?
love that question. It took me a long time to gain the confidence to start posting. Because it's like once you start posting, you get more like you critique yourself more. Like I've noticed myself critiquing myself more. And if I don't like a post, like I won't like I'll take a picture and be so proud of it when I take it. And then when it comes time to post it, I'm like, I don't like this anymore. So I'd say, honestly, just life is so short. Like I live by this, like life is so short and everything happens for a reason. So if you were given this like opportunity, take it. Like I've become such a yes man with this experience. Like I've never been happier, to be honest with you. So I'd say just do it.
Oh,
you gotta
that's
just
so
start
nice.
somewhere. And I know everybody says that, but it's
Oh,
so
that makes
true.
me so happy.
Aw, thanks. But yeah, you gotta start somewhere. So just do it.
You gotta,
you
gotta
yeah.
start somewhere. I love
Yeah,
it. So
you
that
do.
means like
You
if
do.
you ever think like, oh, I'm not good enough, but I feel like you just gotta start. Alexa, stop. I thought I put you do not disturb.
That's
Oh
actually
yeah,
kind
I'll
of
turn it
creepy.
up. Alexa, stop.
Hey, but like that's actually really cool to hear. Kind of like how you become that yes man type of persona, because kind of when we all started hanging out and kind of like in that solid friend group, and it was me, Steven, you, John, Jenna, like that little friend group that we had. You know, I remember you being so shy.
I am shy.
You know, and just be like, oh, I don't like the way I look at this picture. I
Yes.
like this and that.
Oh,
and now
I do
you're just
remember
like,
that.
I'm about it. I'm gonna go forward with it, and it's just like Mama, I made it. Like
Aw,
you know.
thanks.
So
Yeah.
the thing that I took away out of all this conversation, I feel like due to horrible circumstances, you know, with the coronavirus and the quarantine, but on the other side, with this quarantine, it kind of like gives us this perspective of life, this perspective of opportunity, and then realizing that people are on their phone all day. Why not take a shot? Because the chances are they might see what I love, what I've been working at, and grow from there. So
Exactly.
that's what I take away from this conversation. It's really
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Exactly. You hit the nail on the hammer. Is that the thing? Is that how you say it?
Nail on the hammer. Wait, hold on. That's like going backwards.
Do not overthink this, Shawn.
You guys are funny.
Oh man. Honestly. But yeah, honestly, I just want to thank you though, like for taking the time out of your day. You know, I just with your online classes too. I guarantee you probably don't even have this much time, but I definitely
No,
wanted
this
to
was
say
the
thank
highlight
you
of my day.
so much.
No, thank you so much for having me.
Oh.
This really was the highlight of my
That
day.
makes me so happy.
Yeah, I also want to say thank you for your time, Dilo. I guess this is also our way of trying to, you know, take the good side of this quarantine.
Exactly, yeah.
Podcast, because I don't think we'll ever do it, Shawn. I don't think we'd ever do
Yeah.
it with if quarantine ever
That's
happened.
what
to be
I
honest
was
with
saying about my Instagram too. I would have never done it. That's crazy.
you. Yeah. Dang.
There's always there's always a silver lining to every cloud, so you just gotta find it.
Always, and it's
But
it's
it
good
is.
to stay positive, and then we'll it's been said a lot, but we'll get through it, guys. You know.
It's true.
There's- What is that movie? Pitch Perfect. The one with that's The Breakfast Club when he like.
Oh, yeah.
walks away.
Pitch perfect, Shawn. I'm dead. Not even close.
The quality
I'm
is
so
so
Oh
different.
my gosh.
But you know why I brought it up. It is there. It's there. Okay, one last question. What can you see from, from what you've been posting and who you've been following? What can you see as kind of like where a trend is currently going? What can we expect as the next trend? Are we bringing the bell bottoms back? Can I start rocking the Jerry curls again?
Oh my god.
Like,
Never.
some of my homies are wearing mullets. Like, what's going on?
If the mullet comes back, I'm leaving. Like, I will not participate. No way. I really don't think, I hate to say this, but I really don't think bell-bottom jeans ever left. So they're not going anywhere. Someone scared me the other day by saying low-rise jeans are making a comeback. No, I will cancel that. I will grow my platform just so I can squash that. Never happening. I'd say
Shut it down.
Yeah, I will. Definitely loungewear. Like, as you've seen, I think loungewear, like Kim Kardashian, she started that years ago, and it's really taking off while everybody's in quarantine. So keep an eye out for that, because I think it's just only going to get bigger.
Okay, then question then.
Yeah.
Could there be a new trend where it's like a quarantine outfit, aka just super chill stuff, but a little stylized? Can you see that happening?
Oh, 100%, Steven. I think you should start it. That was a great idea.
Oh!
Really?
there
we go.
Bro.
Bye, Sean. You're on your own now.
Hey, peace out.
100%.
I knew it.
Dang.
I knew they make something out of the quarantine. People wearing pajamas all day. Okay, now why not put pajamas with wings?
Yes,
like
love that.
Wings? Wings?
Wait, like wings, like chicken wings?
No, I was thinking like an angel wings.
Oh!
It's just what I came out with. This is why I'm not in fashion. That's why I can't do it.
I don't know. I think you're onto something.
Steven Salahi, the next biggest, I don't know.
Buy my fragrance.
Buy my fragrance.
Smells like chicken and rice.
Chicken and rice. Ew. Nasty.
Oh, well, Dilo, we want to thank you so much for joining us today in this episode of Brown Rice Podcast. And
Brown rice.
We definitely learned a lot about you. We definitely learned a lot about this trend of today, about the fashion life, about what's coming. And we are very excited for the future endeavor you have, whatever work you're going to do. We can't wait to see it.
Absolutely.
I think the same about you guys. I hope this podcast blows up and you guys get super famous, and remember me when you're famous, okay?
Honestly, yeah. But thank you so much. Like I said, taking time out of your day and just giving us the solid advices and kind of like giving us the inside scoop of what it really takes, of fashion, just like for people like me that are fashionally challenged.
Fashionally challenged!
I'm definitely...
Shawn, you were killing me today.
Oh, man. But yeah, I definitely appreciate it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I had a lot of fun.
Oh, thanks, Dilo.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. So I think we'll just wrap it up right here. And thank you again, Dilo. I hope best of luck for you. And don't forget to follow Daniella on Instagram. Her Instagram is Daniella Maola. One word, right? All right, 2 L's in the Daniella and an Maola.
Perfect.
There's no underscore at the end, right?
No,
Maola?
just Daniella Maola. Trademark.
All right, I can't wait to see that page with a blue check mark.
Thank you so much.
Right? Honestly, we're going to be talking about it. And like, you remember
I'm
it.
gonna cry. Aw.
Oh, man.
Thanks, guys.
I see nothing but good things coming from this.
Thank you
Just
so
your positive
much.
energy, bro. We need more people in this.
Hopefully, I can come back on this podcast in 5 years
So.
and we can all talk about how successful we are. Goals for the future.
Whoa.
Ooh, what?
Do you remember
Honestly?
episode 4?
4.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man. But yeah, guys, go ahead and give Danielle that follow. Go ahead and give her that support and go check out her page. She's going to bring some solid content that you guys are definitely not going to want to miss out on. So
Thanks, guys. You're too kind.
Appreciate you.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Dila. Dude, that was awesome.
That was awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah. Dilo was awesome.
Absolutely. I think just being able to see her kind of like, from when we first started hanging out to now, nothing but like positive growth that we've seen from her. So
Me too. I'm so happy for her. She's always been like really one of the nicest friends ever. Since working at Chick-fil-A until I left, she was still in contact. Definitely a cool, one of the coolest person I've ever met.
Absolutely, super genuine. She not afraid to tell it as it is, but also would definitely was there when you needed her. Like if you were going through something, she'd be there to kind of like listen to, which is so hard to come across these days. So yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Definitely excited to see what happens with her.
Absolutely, dude. And Yeah, I wish nothing but the best for her because she's doing it right now, especially during this quarantine. And it's really interesting how we come up with that conclusion about what the quarantine kind of brought for creators and influencers. Who's trying to make it out there, like D'Lo. So yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah, absolutely. I think honestly, this is just a stepping stone, and I'm glad she was able to bring that up because I feel like so many people are looking at the quarantine as kind of like such a negative thing. And she's like, no, it could be such a positive thing, and she's like, what? Like, hello, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, if anything, she inspired me to like keep working. Keep working
absolutely.
What I love doing.
It's perfect. It's inspiration.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to D'Lo.
Shout out to D'Lo. Well, I hope you guys liked the episode. Leave us a comment and like, and also hit the subscribe button if you haven't. But we just want to thank you for joining. Shawn, thank you for always being my fellow partner in the Brown Rice Podcast.
Brother, thank you again for being my brother in crime in the Brown Rice Podcast. Much love for you, brother.
So we hope we get more guest stars in the future for the podcast, but we really enjoy doing that. And I hope you guys like it too.
Absolutely, yeah. Like my brother here said, just hit that like button. Go ahead and even in the comment section, just go ahead and post what you guys want to hear us talk about. If there's anything that you guys are wanting to be like, oh, it'll be awesome to hear you guys talk about this, go ahead and do that. And hit that share button too. Share it to your friends, family. Much support and much love on that. So
absolutely. So thank you guys so much for joining again. I will see you guys all next week. And Steven Tilala, he's signing out.
And Shawn Petty signing off.
Oh, bye guys.
Bye.